Hi, guys. Good morning and good evening. I hope you are able to hear me. Can anyone please confirm? Okay, perfect. So, in the last session, we have seen how we can read data from multiple tables, right? Did we come across it? How we can read data from multiple tables? Okay, so let me take you through this. I hope we already seen this one. And more or less same thing that I'm just going to take you through. Even if it is not covered, that is going to be covered as part of this. So this time, what I wanted to do is, I wanted to bring the data from the same tables, but if the tables are not having the data, then I don't want to create a file. So create a pipeline to read data from on-prem SQL Server database to Azure Data Lake Storage N2. And I'm just saying, if create a file, only if the table is having data. So only if the table is having the data, then only I wanted to copy a file. I don't, if table is not having a data, then I don't want to bring it. So if that is the case, then how you can handle it? So let me go to open my SQL Server Management Studio. I have a customer table. I have a department table. And I have an employee table in the data source. So when you see the data from all these three tables, select star from table names. If we execute, in customer table, I have a one record, and this is fine. Okay, so let me create a pipeline for this to read the data from the multiple tables. In order to read data from multiple tables, we are going to use the activity called lookup activity. If I wanted to get a list of files, we have to use lookup activity. To get a list of tables from database, we have to use lookup activity. So now we need to know about what is lookup activity. It is used to look into a database or even file system also you can do it. If you are looking onto the database, we can also write SQL code. So most of the times by using lookup activity, we used to get less number of records. Let's say if your business requirement is having less volume of the data, then you can go for this. Okay, so generally we don't go for actual data. So to get some metadata, we are going to use this lookup activity. Lookup activity can return a single row or multiple rows. Lookup activity is going to return a single row as well as even multiple rows also is going to be possible to return. Give me a moment. So it is going to return either multiple rows or single row. We can give the output of lookup activity to for each activity. Filter activity, if condition activity. So we can give the output of lookup activity to any of these activities. So it depends on the situation. You can also give for other activities, but mostly I came across for each filter activity and if condition activity. So in this particular case, how exactly we can do it? When it is returning multiple rows, 100% we are going to give it to for each activity or filter activity. When it is returning single row, then we are going to give it to if condition activity. So mostly it is going to return less number of records. Your lookup activity is going to return less number of records. Now by using the lookup activity, I'm going to get the list of tables. In order to do that, we have to write a SQL statement because you are taking the list of tables. So here there are 3 tables are there. But how data factory identifies there are 3 tables? In order to do this, we need to use select from information underscore schema dot tables. So from this table, I just wanted to say select star from information underscore schema dot tables. I have a list of tables here, but I don't need this. I need to apply the filter where table underscore type equals to base table. I have to take only base table. Then you are going to get only tables. I don't need star, I need only table name. So you can take table underscore name is the name of the column to get the list of tables. So this code has to be executed in the lookup activity. This code has to be executed in lookup activity. So we already know when you go and read the data from the on-prem SQL server, we need to have a Azure self-hosted integration runtime. To load the data into Azure Data Lake Storage Center, we need to have a Azure IR. So let me take that. Let's go to Data Factory. I'm already having self-hosted integration runtime. Let me create a link services plus new. It's a SQL server. Hit and continue. Link service underscore on-prem SQL underscore source database. So here we need to choose self-hosted integration runtime and server name is ADA and database name is source. Authentication type I'm taking Windows authentication and username I'm taking ADA / Bhaskar and provide the password. Let's make a test connection. And hit OK. So I already created Azure Data Lake Storage and 2 link service is already available. So that you know. And let's go to the author. First I have to create a pipeline. Let me create a one data set, a new data set. SQL Server. So only one data set I'm going to create for one database. DS underscore on-prem SQL underscore source. Let's take a link service name. I'm not selecting any table here. Let's hit OK. And data set is created. Let's create a new pipeline. Pipeline underscore move data from multiple tables. So first we need to get the list of files. To get the list of files, we are going to use lookup activity. So lookup activity is expecting to provide the data set. You can take a data set here, ds underscore unrun SQL server, source I'm taking. You can also take a file system also. So here by default it returns only one row, and if you preview the data, you can see, okay, connection is failed. So that is fine. Okay. So basically, if you remember in copy data activity, we come across a table, query, and stored procedure, right? We have seen table, query, and stored procedure as part of the copy data activity. The same to same is available here also. I'm not pointing to the any table specifically. Basically, in real time, we don't point to the table. Okay, so even if you point to the table, but we don't take the data from that particular place, we are always going to use the query. So if we use the query, this data set, I can use it for copy data activity. The same data set I can use for any lookup activities if you're taking data from the same database. So because of that reason, I have taken here as a query. Let's take this code and paste it here. Let's preview the data. When you preview the data, it is going to give only one record, one customer. I mean, it's a one table name. But my query is giving 3 records. The reason why we are getting single record is because we have checked this checkbox by default. Let's uncheck this to when you get multiple rows, make sure to uncheck this. If you have required multiple rows, then definitely you have to uncheck it and preview the data. Now you can see here, 3 tables are there. That is fine. Now the output of this lookup activity, I have to give it to another activity. That is for each activity. We are going to use it for each activity. Let me give some points here. It is used to iterate list of items. As many number of items are coming from the input, as many number of items are coming from input, that many number of times since this note in the cloud, it is sometimes if there is a network issue or something else, it is not responding immediately. Give me a moment. So as many number of items are coming from the input, that many number of times for each activity, items will be for each activity let's say that many times child activities of for each activity will be executed. Okay, let me come back to here. So I'm just going to give the output of this lookup activity to for each activity. So if we go to the settings, it is asking, we want to go inside this, we are going to have activities. So for each activity, without having at least one activity, you cannot execute for each activity. Let's say note, at least one activity should be there. Oh my God, what happens? At least there should be one activity in the for each activity. So if you don't have at least one activity, you cannot run the for each activity. That's not going to be possible. So just keep in mind, 100% is we required at least one activity inside that. So then only we can do it. If we try to debug it, it is not going to debug. We can say for each activity should have at least one activity. So we can keep inside for each activity. Whatever the activities are there inside this for each activity, it is going to be iterated. Let's say, for example, there is a one copy data activity inside this for each. If if output of your for each is going to give 4 to the for each activity, 4 times this copy data is going to be executed. Whatever the activity is there inside this, whatever the activity is there inside this, all those activities are going to be iterated. As many number of inputs will be given to the for each activity. So that is what I'm saying here. As many number of items are coming from the input, that many number of times the child activities of for each activity will be executed. Now let's go inside this for each, and here I'm going to keep the copy data activity. So the copy data activity is expecting to take a source data set. I'm just taking it. So since it is not a single table, since we are taking it from multiple tables, so what happens here is the first lookup is going to give, first table is, let's say, employee. So employee will come to the for each. Then for each is going to take employee table. Employee copy data will be completed with employee. And then department is coming from the outside. And department will be given to the copy. And department will be copied. And customer is coming from outside, and customer will be given to the copy, and the customer data will be also copied. So in order to do all this stuff, we required source data set and target data set. So copy data is always going to ask you to pass your source data set and target data set. So if it is a single table, then I can go with the table. When I'm taking it from multiple tables, then definitely you have to make it dynamic. So to make it dynamic, what I'm going to do is, if I wanted to read the data from multiple tables, this is what I have written. I'm just taking this code. So in all these places, this entire thing is the common query. This entire thing is the common query for each and every table. Now, we already come across concat function. Concatenate function as part of making a file name to add the dates we came across this concat function. So this part I'm just taking into single quote. And table name I'm just going to say customer. But this is going to say here a single table. This is static. To make it dynamic, what we are going to do is, just for running of this activity here, and I mean to say, for just temporarily running, I'm just using the wait activity, because for it should expect at least one activity, right? So I wanted to show what is the output of this lookup activity. Let's debug it. I'll talk about it. Let's debug it. Concentrate on only output of the lookup activity one. Now you can say the output of this lookup one is saying what it is saying here. If you maximize this, you can say output dot value dot table underscore name. I have to take a table underscore name. It is giving the items, list of items. So the lookup output activity is going to give it all these 3 items to the for each activity. First it will take customer table, then it will be copied. Again it will take department table, it will be copied. Then again it will take employee table. So to get the name of the table, you have to take table underscore name. You have to take table underscore name. So to take the items, what you have to do is item dot table underscore name, you have to take it. So this is the expression, this is equivalent to this value you are going to get. So item is value. From the value, I wanted to take the item underscore table name. Okay, so that is what I'm just going to do it here. Let's go. Okay, let me take out again this. I'm just going to take a for each activity. Just observe. The output of the lookup activity, we need to give it to for each activity. Let's select the settings. So sequential, I wanted to execute. Output of your lookup activity. You have taken multiple items. So that means here, if you select this and you can say if first row is unchecked. First row is unchecked means the result of this expression is giving multiple records. Collection of items we are getting when you execute this particular code. So all these outputs, all these 3 records are going to give it to for each activity. So list of items, we can call it as an array. From the lookup, you can say lookup one value array, I wanted to take it. Output dot value, under that we have a list of values. So we have to take output array. Let's hit OK. And then let's go inside this for each. Inside for each, I'm going to keep the copy data activity. Let's take a source. Source data set is required. Let's take a source data set. Now in this particular case, in place of this table name, I'm going to take, basically we used to write like this, item dot table underscore name is the name of the table. So inside inner function should not have the at. So because of that reason, I'm taking out. So this is the dynamic select SQL statement. When it comes here, let's take a query and paste it. So for checking purpose, if you preview the data, is query working as expected or not, you can pass the name of the table here, department. Then you can see the data from the department. So this is for just validation. I'm able to see the data from the department. And again, I'm previewing the data. Let's take a customer this time. You can see the data from the customer table. That's fine. The query is perfectly alright. It's working for any kind of table. Let's go to the sync. In sync, we need to create a sync data set. To create a sync data set, you just hit on new. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. Hit on continue. Delimited text. I'm just going to say ds underscore data files underscore output files. So multiple files we are getting, right? So I'm just giving output underscore files. Let's take a link service. We know already we can create a link service for Azure Data Lake Storage Center. Let's go to the files, data files. Inside the data files, I wanted to take the output folder. There are files are there. I'll take out them. Let's go to here. I'm just going to take out my output. I don't need any of them. First of all, I need only output folder here. So I don't have any output folder. Now I'm just going to say output. First as a header and let's say none and hit OK. And open this data set to make a dynamic. We already know how we can create a parameter for the target data set. So parameter is pay file name, parameter file name, and attach this parameter to the data set in the connection. We already know all this stuff. Hit OK. And let's go back to the data set as a pipeline. In pipeline sync, we have it is asking the name of the file. So if we don't give the name of the file, what happens if we give the name of the file? So in this particular case, 100% you have to give a file. I'm just taking item dot table underscore name. Let's hit OK. So table name is going to come as a file name. Okay, but this is going to give only table name. I mean to say, this is going to give the name of the table, but I need an extension also, right? At concat. This is going to give the name of the file and .csv I'm taking. Let's close your concatenate function and take out this at since it is inner function. Let's take a copy of this and paste it. Let's hit OK. Now I'm just going to debug this. Debug it. Let me cancel this. Let's debug again. Should not take this much time. Okay, now it's in progress. Now the output of this lookup activity we already seen. There are three tables are there. Value array we are taking. This is the array type. And first time your copy data is getting executed. So copy data is there inside for each. So copy data is going to be executed multiple times. As many number of items are getting from the lookup is going to be iterated that many number of times by using for each activity. Also, why it is taking longer time. Still under the queue. Good. And do one thing. Just give a moment. Let me cancel this. I'll reopen my data factory. Let's debug again. This is strange. Okay, it is started. So one copy data is already completed. Second is in paid. And if you go and see the target output folder, inside output folder, I have a customer.csv, department.csv. So 2 times is completed and third time is going on. Now it is completed and you can see 3 files available. Okay, so 3 files are having the data. Customer is also having the data. You can see customer table is having record and department table is having records and employee table is also having records. Okay, that is fine. Now I'm just going to take out all these files and I'll do one change in the data source. So 3 tables are getting data, and I'm just going to truncate one of the table called customer table. Truncate table name. So it is just going to remove the data. So I don't have a data in the customer table. I have a data only in the department table as well as employee table. So I wanted to read the data from these 2 tables. That means if my data source is having a files, if my data source is having the data, then only I wanted to load it. If data source is not having the data, it is a table is not having the data, then we are not supposed to load the data for that particular table. So at this point of time, I'm just going to debug it as it is without doing any changes. Let's debug. So what happens if table is not having the data? Will it avoid creating a table or will it create a file or not? We are going to see. One copy is completed. Why it is taking this much time? Second copy is completed. Okay, now if you see your target, I have a customer.csv also is created. The file is not having the data. It's empty only. Header is there. So if the customer table is not having the data, then I don't need to create a customer file. Okay, so that is what the requirement means. So I'm just taking out again. So we need to, our pipeline is not providing the solution for your requirement, right? So I'm just going to clone this pipeline, multiple tables. If data is available. Okay, so this is same. How do you know is table having records or not is select count star as CNT. So if you can give a count of table name, then it is going to get it, right? From table name. If I execute this statements, you can say first statement is having 0 count. Second statement is having 4 records. Third is having 15 records. You can see one by one. No records are available. 0 means 0 records. At least that should be greater than 0. If records are greater than 0, then I wanted to create a file. So this one I wanted to execute. I wanted to make this dynamic. To make this dynamic again, how we can write the statement is, this is common for all of the places, right? Up to here. So I can use concat again. This part is common, and then name of the table. The name of the table, how we are getting, this is going to provide the name of the table. And close your concatenate function. Let's take this copy. Where do you want to execute? This one you have to execute in the lookup activity. Let's go inside for each. First it will take a table. Before doing the copy, we have to do again lookup activity. So lookup 2, we have to execute. That lookup 2 is also asking a data set, same source data set. And I'm going to take a query and paste it. When I execute this query, how many records it is written? Only single record. That is 100% single row only is going to be written. So because of that reason, you can use first row only. Let's preview that. I'm just going to say customers. You have to check, right? Is the query, is dynamic query is correctly working or not? Now you can see count is 0. Okay, so the output of this lookup activity, we need to give it to another activity, that is if condition. I told you lookup activity output can be given to if condition activity also. I written somewhere here. We can give the output of lookup activity to for each activity, filter activity, and if condition activity also. So we need to know about if condition activity. It is used to check condition. So we're always going to check the condition. So what happens if the condition is succeeded and what happens if the condition is failed? That we are going to see as part of this. Condition always returns either true or false. This activity is having two blocks. One is true block, another is false block. If condition is succeeded, then true block will be executed. Else, false block will be executed. So that is important here. Let's come back to here. So true block is there and false block is there. And we need to give the output of this lookup activity to here. So let's write an expression. Expression is lookup activity, output 2. Lookup 2 activity, you have to take a first row. So first row dot column name. The name of the column is CNT. I'll show you how exactly it is going to be there. Let me copy this in this particular place. I'll come back to this particular step. So this is going to give the count of value. This is going to give a count of value. How much count is getting, it is going to give. So greater than 0, I wanted to say. But in in Data Factory, we don't have a greater than operator. So in place of this greater than, we have a function called greater. So we are not going to use this greater operator. You have to use a greater function and close your greater function. So greater than 0. If this column value is greater than 0, then it is going to return true. Let's take out this at and copy this, and I'm just going to write this entire expression here. So greater is equivalent to greater than operator. Hit OK. So if it is true, then I wanted to copy this file. Let's take a Control X, go inside true block, and paste your file. Now let's go here, same to same. Everything is same. Only thing is we're having multiple activities here. If it is true, first it will go inside for each. First table will become here, will come, and it will check is there records or not in the table. If it is available, it will go inside this. If at all, if customer, let's say for example, customer is coming. So it is going to take a count. What is the count of customer? That is 0. So you are giving it to the if condition. Is count greater than 0 or not? So it is not a greater than 0. So if that is the case, then false block will be executed. So in the false, I'm not keeping anything. You can keep an empty here. Okay, so it all depends on the requirement. You can have a activities in the false block or in the true block. Okay, so I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to run this. Let's publish this. So same to same, I'm just extending by keeping one more lookup activity and if condition activity. Let's debug. If condition is started. Now just observe. First lookup output is 3 tables it is giving: customer, department, and employee. And then it is giving to for each to iterate it. The second lookup is going to give the output count is 0 for customer. First row dot count. I have written this expression here. Activity output dot first row dot count. What it is saying? Activity output dot first row dot count. So that is what I have written here. What is the value of this count? Okay, I'm checking greater than 0. So if it is 0 means the condition is failed. You are giving this output to lookup activity to output to if condition. If condition is failed. So since if condition is failed, then it is going to the second iteration. Second iteration we are getting 4 records, that is a department. And it is giving to if condition. If condition is giving to copy data activity because there is a greater than 0. Third lookup is getting, there are 15 records are there, and that is giving to if condition. If condition is satisfied, then copy data is getting executed. If you go and see the target, you can have only 2 files here. But my requirement is I wanted to attach the date also, right? For the table, I wanted to attach the date also. Oh my God, something is happening for my notepad. That's fine. So I have to attach the date. If you go here in the target, underscore date, I wanted to get it. We know already how we can get the date part, right? So this is the part that we have used to get the file name. So here I have to give an underscore, comma, and then date part I need to get it. So to get the date part, we already come across it. Format date time, UTC now, comma, DDYY format. Let's close this. This is going to give a date path in the form of text, comma, dot CSV. Let's take this entire thing. I'm just going to keep it in the data factory again. So in the target data set, I'm going to keep it. My target data set is, if you go to the copy data activity, sync. So here you have to pass that. Let's hit OK. Now again, I'm just going to debug it. Previously, it was not having the date table underscore date dot CSV has to get it. So I'm just writing the expression. I'm just modifying the expression. So in the output, we have a dates also, right? So I have to get the dates. That is the final thing. Just be on hold. I'll restart my Wi-Fi. I disconnect my network and connect it. Still, I don't think there any progress in that. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I lost my host access. I got it back. Okay, so I wanted to get the date right. Let me rerun my pipeline. I'm just going to redebug it. Before redebugging, just observe in my output I'm not having anything. So it will not take much time now. In progress. Second lookup 2 is getting started executing. If condition, again lookup 2. Lookup 2 is succeeded. First copy is going to execute. Third lookup is going on. Second copy is getting executed. So copy data is going to executed only 2 times as we're having data in only 2 tables. So this is a dynamic pipe. So not for single table, it's for multiple tables. Now if you go and see the target, refresh it. Now you can see only 2 files here. Customer is not created is because we are not having the data in the customer tables. And in the same way, if you wanted to read the data from multiple tables, last time we have seen wildcard file path. So instead of having wildcard file path, if you want to change the name of the file, if you wanted to have an extension, same as it is the same extension or different extension, then definitely we can go for a different approach. So in the next session, I'm going to talk about one more activity that is very important, that is get metadata activity. So we're also going to get the details of the database, details of the file system with get metadata activity. Okay. So I'm stopping here. If you have any question, you can ask me. You can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Yeah, that's the Priyanka here.
Yeah, Priyanka.
For every service activity, there should be a linked, lookup activity compulsory.
No, you can have any activities. It's not only, right? They're having other active copy data also is there. If condition is there.
Yeah, but for that conditions, for every condition or,
You can condition, whatever the condition you are taking, for condition you have to use if only.
Yeah, I got it this actually. For every service activity or filter activity or if condition activity, there should be compulsory lookup activity front.
No. Whatever the activity is giving, list of items is required for it. So for it, what it is taking, it is going to take a list of items, right? Collection of items. So here multiple tables are written. And there is one more activity we are going to see, get metadata activity. That is also going to give list of items. So we can also give the output of this activity to for each activity. And I have a filter activity. So filter also will give a list of items. So we can give an output of filter activity to for each. It depends. So only thing is this will accept list of items. Simple. List of items will be written by lookup activity, get metadata activity, and filter activity. Okay. Any other question?
Nothing but from my side.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Anyone else?
So I have one question. Like,
Yeah,
in lookup, so we have a remote at a single row. I believe in the second lookup, we have clicked on single lookup. Single row.
Single row, yes.
So why is it so? So because if you
how many records it is returning if I execute every row, every statement? Single row only.
Okay.
So for that reason, I'm taking single row.
Okay. So here in the second lookup, we'll get each row.
One record only. For every table, one record.
Okay.
But here, yeah. for lookup 1 is having multiple rows.
Got it, sir. Because since we are using expression and we get only one record.
Exactly.
Also, sir, do you have any notes for an expression so that meanwhile we can go through it for the upcoming classes?
Which
Right.
note you're saying?
Like we have used some expression like greater and concat, something like that. So in a notepad plus plus, we
No,
have used.
I don't have that kind of note, but if you wanted to say, like expressions, when you go for expression, here you can see, if I open this link, all the expressions are there here. I'll keep that link in the chat box.
Listen.
All the functions are there here. Okay, so list of functions are available. So whatever it is required, I'm going to take it through, but few of them you have to take it from your side. So with the example, let's say for example, concat. Control F, concat. So you can say that combines two or more strings and returns combines two. So syntax is there and example is there. Okay, so basic example will be there here, but here when it comes to for our side, we are writing as per the real-time requirement.
Makes sense, sir.
Yeah.
See that link in that again.
Yeah, you just go through this kind of things, you'll get some idea about it. Whatever the function I'm using, you can go through that.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm stopping here today, and tomorrow we are going to see get metadata activity. Okay, then we'll see you on tomorrow.